everybody, it's Chris with the Freebirds, and today I'm going to be working on our water heater in our travel trailer. What I'm going to be doing is removing the factory water heater, which is an Atwood 6-gallon dual heat, so it uses the 110 side when you're plugged into shore power, or it uses propane and 12 volts. So it does have dual action there. I'm going to be replacing it with this Girard model GSWH2 LP or propane gas tankless water heater, instant hot. This has no tank. In your typical water heater, what's going to do, like, this is a 6-gallon. It fills up the tank with 6 gallons of water. It heats it using whatever method you have available. And then throughout the day, as you're not using it, say you're out for 12 hours exploring and doing stuff, this sits here, the water gets cold, it kicks back on and heats it. It gets cold, it heats it, it gets cold, it heats it. It's a waste of, your battery power if you're boondocking. It's a waste of your propane. It's just not efficient. This right here creates the hot water as you want it, and it does it instantly. So it's gonna be a huge benefit for us boondocking. Now, taking out the original Atwood, it's pretty simple, but I'm gonna go over a couple of things that you wanna take care of when you do that. The door, there's 2 pins. We're just going to pull these off on both sides so we can move the door out of the way. Of course, the screws holding it on. This particular trailer is using the square bit on everything. I've got that over here in the drill. The wiring harness, take note of that. Be careful with this board if you do want to try and sell this or keep it for reuse. The igniter, the circuit board, those are hot items that are expensive and cumbersome to mess with. You will need to disconnect the propane line on this particular model. It's in the front. Some of them have it in the back or inside. This one's right here on the front. And then there's this black gooey stuff that you'll have to peel off in here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just this big, massive rubbery stuff that they put on there to keep that seal. You have to peel that off so you can suck that hose back through. Yeah, see, it's just, you can replace it with your own stuff whenever you're done. So, that's it. That's pretty basic. Now, on the outside. On the inside, it has 2 water connections, the 110 or shore power connection, and then it has the 12 volt connection, which ties into everything. So that's all inside. First, we'll work on disconnecting a lot of the outside. Then we'll go inside and disconnect that. Then we'll pull the unit out, and then we'll prep everything to put the new unit in, including cleaning up the silicone. Can you give me that razor blade? So after you get the screws out and you're ready to do this, you're going to take your razor knife or pocket knife or whatever you got going on there, and you're going to cut around the edge to break the seal of this silicone that's there. And then I'm just going to be using a flathead to gently pry it around. I got channel locks for the water hoses in the back. These are just plastic fittings. I've got pliers for the clips. I got a monkey wrench for the propane line. And then I've got my impact drill with the square tip. Also brought along a Phillips bit just in case I get to something that needs it. But that's pretty basic. It's pretty much it. You really want to be careful with this propane line. I guess I should note right now, disclaimer, make sure your propane is completely turned off before you try to do anything disconnecting the propane line. Because if it's not turned off, this will have propane just pouring out. Danger. Also, make sure you have no power going to the unit. If you're plugged into shore power, turn off all your breakers. And if you're not plugged into shore power, make sure you have your fuse removed for the 12 volt that goes to this heater. I've got everything already taken care of and already done inside. My propane's been off for a while we're working on these projects. So that being said, let's get to removing this thing. All right, so now we're gonna unbox the new tankless water heater. Shipping weight's 22.8 pounds, so right at 23 pounds. You know, most people should be able to lift it. It's not that bad. I went ahead and took the styrofoam packaging and stuff out of it so it'd be easier to pull out. Now, this particular unit has the option of a wall mount control, so you can control the heat and thermostat and everything remotely, and you can see turn it on, turn it off, all those functions. Not all of them come with it. We got one that did come with it. You can buy this separate for about 70 to 80 bucks. We'll talk about that a little bit more later. All right, the unit itself, just a sheet metal box, basically. We got the wires coming out the back, which you're going to plug into or hook up to the wires that we disconnected already. You've got your LP gas, your propane hookup, and then you got your water inlet and outlet. And this is your manual adjustment for your max and min. And that's it. Inside, it's just a tankless water heater. Got all the stuff to heat it, the copper tubing and everything. The exhaust, so it exhausts out, an on-off switch, a fuse, you know, in case it gets an overload. And then of course it's got the drain valve, just like any, you know, anything else for allowing any air or overflow to come out. So take this sucker. Okay, so we're gonna have to trim just a little bit on the top. Now, keep in mind, I don't have a door for this yet. It's coming in today. I forgot to mention this earlier. Depending on what unit you take out is what door you get for this model. So they do not come with a door. You have to buy it separate. Now you can see right here, this opening is wider than the box. So the door that I have coming is designed for the Atwood 6-gallon tank opening, and it's gonna fit into this. Yeah, look, you got some nails on there. Good job. Okay, so we need to get the multi-tool so I can shave a little bit of this out of the way. Now, what you're going to want is you're going to want this housing flush so that whenever the door comes in, it's going to have a flange for the door. The flange is going to go inside of this and then cover this. So it's going to attach into here to hold everything in place, and then it'll screw back onto the frame of the trailer for everything. So that's it. Now we need to wire this up. All right, so here's our panel set up, our control center. It used to be along this wall on the original format of the trailer. We used to have a different system monitor. I upgraded and changed it over to this black one. This is for our inverter. This is for the charge controller. And this is for the old water heater. So since we don't need this any longer, we can take this out. We can take this out and get access to all this jazz. Okay. So you might think, well, all we had was a blue, a white, a gray, and a brown on the other end. But we got all this jazz over here. Okay. That's because it allows the switch to function, allows the light to function, everything else. The new system works differently. The control panel communicates with the tankless water heater as opposed to this panel controlling it. So that's why there's more wires connected to power and all that other jazz here. Okay. So we have our blue wire. We've identified it in our brown wire. So it looks like there's our gray wire. Okay. And there's our white wire. So here's our 4 wires going to there. This blue wire is a power feeding this LED. Which in turn, and this orange wire is power going to this switch. Click that. It allows power to come and go through to turn on the electric side of the propane. And then this red wire is jumpered over from this switch to this switch, which brown is the power for. So brown is the one that needs to go to the DC panel. So we're going to have to take these 4 wires, well, the white and the brown, we're going to have to take them out of here, run them down to the DC panel and hook them up. And then the blue and gray we'll leave sticking out here to mount that user control panel. Okay? Right on. All right, so let's do it. Just going to start disconnecting some stuff here and put my caps back on. Again, safety first. Make sure you disconnect power. So basically all we need to do is take these 2 orange and this brown and connect them together. And that'll give us power from the distribution panel over to our heater. This white is already connected to ground. We just need to cut and strip that and then just put it right into there. We don't need all that other jazz there. It can go bye-bye. And then we'll save the gray and the blue for our user control panel. Yeah. So let's do it. All right, so that can go. Bye-bye. Now, if you wanted to, you could come in here and you could take a switch and install it between these orange wires and the brown wire so that you actually you can just completely kill power going to the propane heater. I might end up doing that, put a little switch here or something. But for now, we're just gonna take these and leave them here for now. And then once I get the other end connected, we'll come back and work on this. So you might get a little bit of water spill here from water that's in the lines. I do have my pump turned off and all that jazz. All right, so today we installed the tankless water heater. When I first put it in just a little bit ago, the door wasn't in yet. It did come in today. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add that to it. Like I said before, if you purchase this water heater, the Girard GHWS or GSWH2, there'll be a link to it. If you purchase this, it does not come with the door. You have to buy the door separate because the door depends on the water heater you had in there before. This door is to replace the Atwood 6-gallon water tank opening. Okay, so We decided to go with black instead of the white version. Kind of goes along with what we're doing with everything. But you can see, opens right up. It's got some technical data there. It has the vent hole for the vent, and then it's got the spots where you screw everything on. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screws off of this so I can just deal with this flange part by itself, and then I'll put the door on afterwards. And what I'm going to do, if you want, when you put this on, you can put your beetle tape around and then put it on. That's one way to do it, and it's not a bad idea. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into place, and then I'm going to silicone around it really good to prevent any leaks and problems like that. So this is going to go inside. The water tank housing. Now, the opening is bigger than the water heater, the tankless water heater. The extra is going to end up on the left side, so you need to justify in this particular application the water heater and everything. There we go. Once you have it justified to the right. Now what I'm going to do is on the original manufacturer of these RVs, they like to use number 10 1-inch stainless steel screws, and then what they'll do is they'll use a square tip. I just use 1-inch number 10s with a Phillips tip. Yeah, but I always put brand new ones on when I take something off, because the weather and everything will wear those out and they'll start being compromised. That's it. Hey, take that.
Good job, James.
Voila. I'll have my sealer come out here, put some silicone around this really good. But there it is. Now, we're not ready yet to test this out. We got other projects we're working on right now, which we have the propane disconnected and the power turned off to a lot of stuff. We don't have the water working right now. But soon there will be a follow-up video on this showing how it works. And I think we're going to try and do another video down the road, 6-8 months, a year or something, kind of show like our afterthoughts. I've heard pros and cons of this. I think it's going to turn out really good for us, but we'll let you know.